Hey everyone, it's SunTypes, and today I'm doing more deck reviews, and these were decks submitted to me by you in my Discord server. So if you want to submit your decks and have them viewed by me on the channel, then join the Discord server, which will be in the description, and also subscribe so you don't miss it when I review your deck. But with that out of the way, let's just hop right into it. And this deck is an expanded deck. Also, I do have them split between like serious decks and funny decks, and the funny decks were not what I was expecting, but we'll get to those later. This is a serious deck. This is a deck that some of you may have seen before. And by the way, I haven't looked too much at these lists beforehand. I mean, some I've looked a bit more, and some people have written some stuff about it, which I've read. But this is Inteleon Vikavolt. Vikavolt single parts is not Vikavolt V. Vikavolt has its attack here, Electro Blaster. Discard 2 lightning energies from this Pokemon. It does 200 snipe to one of your opponent's Pokemon. It does have free retreat as well and has bite for 70 for 2. But then you also have, and I'm not super familiar with this deck. I've never actually played it, but I know it's a deck that some people have played. Um, Apparently. Oh, so I was like, wait, what Vikavolt is this? This is Vikavolt. A different vehicle. But anyways, so you have battery on the charger bug, the stage one, but I don't think you ever play the charger bug. But once during your turn, you may attach this card from your hand to one of your Vikavolt or Vikavolt GX as a special energy, and it provides 2 lightning energy while it's attached to a Pokemon, so you could technically move it around or something maybe. So this is an interesting ability. Essentially, you can attach as many of this as you want during your turn. And so you have the Vikavolt, which does the 200 snipe. The other Vikavolt, I actually don't know this card really well. It has no weakness to the stadium in play, and it can do 220. So that's good damage. Is it more than this? Yeah, it's a little more than the other one, but it's not that much better. Generally, it's worse, but it is an option in a few scenarios, which it could be nice in. And then this one, you just play a lot of Charger Bugs, and then you are discarding them, so you play Rescue Carrier to recover them. Then the deck does run the Inteleon engine, which runs Drizzile and Inteleon with Shady Dealings. On play, Drizzile searches for any trainer, puts into your hand, and Inteleon searches for 2 trainers, puts them into your hand. And if some of you are wondering why you can't play Scoop Up Net, if you like played in the past, it is banned in expanded. And this is Pokemon DSG Live expanded as well. This is a format I have not played much at all, but it's a really interesting format. And this Inteleon, and by the way, I might make a video on this deck. We'll see. But Inteleon here, the Rapid Strike one has the ability quick shooting. Once during your turn, you can put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. You have Waterfall, which does 70 for 2. We do run 4 Capturing Aroma, or sorry, Capture Energy in this list. This is not my deck. This is by Laser as well. I didn't say that before. Um, but yeah, it's pretty interesting here. A few. Oh no, yeah. So we see Buddy Buddy Poffins, Level Balls, Evo Incenses, and so yeah. I mean, I don't really have any feedback for this deck. Oh, okay. The support accounts are kind of low. I don't know. It's not that bad. It's very fair. It's a very solid list. Would you see the Tula Giant Bomb, which says if you're essentially if you're like one-shotted and by like a lot of damage, you put 10 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. I don't know how useful this is. This seems a little situational, uh, like very situational, because it gets discarded at the end of your turn, like a tactical machine or whatever. Um, yeah, there are a few other tools that do that. So Giant Bomb though, it's okay. Um, and I don't really know too much about how much value that card has, but you can search with Drizzle. We see 2 copies of Path to the Peak. I feel like in third Path to the Peak could be really good. Path to the Peak shuts down abilities of rule box Pokemon in play, and you don't play any of those, but lots of decks do. We'll take a look at actually another, I think, live expanded deck, and that one certainly does not want Path to the Peak in play, but you do have the Irida as well. And I switched topics. I didn't really say that, but we have a decent amount of consistency. Hyper Aroma is the ace spec searching for 3 stage ones. Really interesting. I didn't think about this at all. Gets your Charger Bugs, which are essentially your energy. I mean, it is your energy, and Drizzles for your engine, which is really interesting. The Terra scenario scoops up a Pokemon, can be used on the Inteleon as well. And the Airzu is an interesting inclusion. Airzu seems kind of weird. I guess it just doesn't draw you cards, but it does search out your Drizzles. So yeah, I mean the deck looks really cool. Echoing Horn as well, really nice. I could actually see a second copy there as well. And Field Blower is a really good card as well. I guess it's probably better than Lost Vacuum. Oh, also the distinction between the serious decks, those are I'm gonna give more feedback on versus the I guess funny or silly decks. I don't remember what I called them in my Discord server. Those I'm just gonna show because it's not like about them being good. It's about them being funny, and they are pretty funny. But yeah, and then one boss, I guess, is fine. I mean, you don't need to boss really much at all. If they play like Manaphy, that could be an issue. You are a snipe-based deck, but you can, I mean, you can damage their active, right? So, yeah, it's probably not that big of a deal, but there are probably times when we want more gusting. I could see that. In Cynthia versus Iono, I guess that's probably good. But anyway, really cool list. In a format I haven't played that much, and this a lot of people haven't played it that much, I don't think, and it certainly doesn't have a very defined meta. But this deck's a really cool deck. Next up, we have a Dragapult EX deck with Zatu, but with a twist. So Dragapult EX 200 for 2 on a stage 2, and you do bench damage counters, and you also have a Dracolope, which is a draw ability, and then you have Zatu here to accelerate psychic energies. But then we have another partner, arguably the most iconic partner of Zatu, which is Espathra, Espathra EX here. So Espathra has this ability Dazzling Glaze as long as it's in the active. Your opponent's attacks cost 1 colorless more, which is really awkward for a good chunk of decks. And Sideball here does 30 and 30 more for each energy attached to each active, and it only takes 1 psychic energy. So it's a really good attack, or it's a really solid attacker. Also, this Flittle, I don't know, I played a Spathra EX. There's a lot of Flittles. I personally play the I haven't played it since Dragapult came out, but I played the one with free retreat with 30 HP. But yeah, that's a solid Flittle. Is it better than the 50 HP one? I don't know. I think you could play the 50 HP one, which I actually thought has 2 retreat, but it has 1 retreat. So that's pretty good. And so I would probably play that one over because spinning attack isn't very good. 20 for 1 colorless, not useless. There are times when you want it, but it's not that good. It's kind of bad still. And then the supporter lineup is interesting. Oh, sorry, I will say Espathra EX here is used to kind of be like a wall in the early game and useful. And when you just don't have Dragapult EX set up, Dragapult EX is generally better, higher HP. Certainly Dazzling Glaze, really almost turning off your opponent's attacks in certain scenarios is insanely good, but that's not really always going to be quite enough or really do what you need. So that's fine. And reduces Scoop Up Cyclone. I feel like you could do Prime Catch. Like in terms of Gust, there's literally only one counter catcher, and gusting isn't super crucial. I mean, there are times when it's really good though. You are spread decks, so it's not as important as like with other decks, but still a little awkward. Also, the Pokemon League HQ it does increase the attack cost of basic Pokemon, so you can really cause issues for Gridgebolt EX, which I guess is the main basic attacking deck right now, and in other like turbo basic decks. So that's fine. I personally am not a big fan of Pokemon League HQ when I played Espathra EX because Espathra EX just increasing it by 1 often throws them off enough that like you don't need to increase it by another one. And it does give you more consistency against those decks, but I usually find that you don't have too much of an issue in the first place. But then would you see 3 copies of Mesa Goza? That's kind of interesting and seemed kind of. Now, I'd rather just play like another Ultra Ball. I feel like that would be good over one of those Mesa Gozas. We do see T-Up Evolution though to help you evolve as well. So I don't know, I just probably change the list a little bit with that. I'm adding in, another Ultra Brawl, probably a boss, or you could change out to Prime Catcher, getting rid of Scoop Up Cyclone. Scoop Up Cyclone's nice as just like a healing card though, and can even be used to double ability with Zatu or Dracolope in certain scenarios. Or switch. Scoop Up Cyclone's a really fun, versatile tool, but if you need the switch, Prime Catcher is also doing that. So, yeah, I mean, I think the deck's really cool, though. The Arven thing with Dragapult, I wouldn't despise a Rotom V4 Sealstone in the deck either. I'd probably kind of like that because it does give you options. If you are turn 1 going second, you want to probably Evolution. That's certainly your main goal, but if you're going first, then I guess you're probably not attacking turn 2. So you grab like Flittle and kind of hide behind Espathra. So I guess you don't need that. And you can start attacking this Espathra. You don't really need to worry about what you're doing while you're setting up Dragapult because what you're doing is Espathra. But yeah, I feel like getting good value off of Arven. The big value is the Technical Machine Evolution. And then rescue board, 2 rescue board is nice, I guess, like in case you prize one or in case you need to rescue board something else. But I don't know. I feel like I would I could see one rescue board, and then like Prime Catcher and maybe a second team evolution. Prime Catcher is admittedly a bit of a boring card, and I'll certainly acknowledge that. But still a super cool list as well. Um, Also wondering about I don't play Zatu really like much at all, but I think an energy retrieval could be interesting. I don't know. I don't know, but there are times when it could be nice. You can argue for energy retrieval and then accelerate the energy with Zatu and then attach the fire. So that could be useful. But yeah, the high psychics, low fire counts is pretty interesting as well. I think that's good. Then I guess you then are relying on Earthen Vessel. I just think you could drop an Earthen Vessel for a um, an energy retrieval, but you really need Earthen Vessel to get your fire when you need it. But then also it's good with Zatu and it's just a good card. But overall, really interesting list as well. Because Dragapult, Dragapult Zatu is probably the most hyped deck coming out of the set, and it has been played. I'm sure I can find it. It doesn't say if it's Dragapult Zatu, I guess. Um, Actually, oh, what's going on here? Limitless is acting up. So Zatu, yeah, here with Dragapult, you can see it was a pretty hype deck. Oh, and here you can see like Rotom V. But with the Espathra EX, I think that's a really cool combo. Espathra EX is a really solid, just general Pokemon. And of course, you have the synergy with Zatu. So that's a combo I didn't think of, but it's really strong. That being said, one other flaw is that they are both. I mean, you kind of need to set up Espathra EX over time as well. So then you're not setting up Dragapult EX. So, but it's still not that committal. You just kind of send it up with you do the like put into the active. You don't even need any energy on it, and it is still like doing something, acting as like a wall. But then next up, we have another semi-walling deck. Oh, sorry, that last deck was by Down, but this deck is by Mr. Muffins. This Tinglu EX deck with the single price Tinglu and some other things. Tinglu EX, its ability if it's in the active. Pokemon to play with damage counters on them. Your opponent's Pokemon, other than Pokemon EX, have no abilities. So that's good. You have Hawlucha. We do see Radiant Alakazam as well. No Iron Valiant EX in this list, which I honestly don't mind. But I feel like a second Hawlucha could be nice. I mean, if you start Hawlucha or it's prized, then your whole deck like doesn't work. You have Gape Trap Bog, which on play Pokemon are damaged, but Hawlucha here is good. It's really important. So I feel like a second one could be nice. There are of course issues. You don't want to start Hawlucha as well. But I feel like a Hisuian Heavy Ball or second Hawlucha could be good, especially because you have a bunch of one-up Pokemon. You have 6 one-up Pokemon. Not all of them are going to be useful all the time, but still. And then Tinglu EX's attack is 300. It's pretty solid, but then you have Kraton EX. It ends your turn, but you accelerate 2 basic fightings from your discard pile to your basic fighting Pokemon in any way you like. To be honest, I forgot it was basics, but then your turn ends. So you do need to get fighting energy in the discard. We do see Radiant Alakazam as the Radiant, so no Radiant Greninja. Radiant Alakazam I think is really good, but so you do need to get energy in the discard. We have a Squawkabilly EX. Again, only one copy without a Hisuian Heavy Ball. But you don't use a Squawkabilly all the time because you do have Earthen Vessel. But if you're going first, which is what you want to do generally, you really do into Squawkabilly. Otherwise, you're not accelerating 2 energies. If you're accelerating 1 and you attach 1, that's okay. Not necessarily ideal. Also, we do see Heavy Baton. This is a card that because I played Tinglu EX when it came out a little, but the Heavy Baton wasn't out. But this is a really nice addition because then it allows you to stream attackers much easier, which is really important for the deck. I will say the Cornerstone Master Agropon EX is also really good. It walls ability Pokemon. I don't know exactly when it's useful. It's a really good card. In my opinion, it's one of the best cards from the Twilight Masquerade. At least like in general. I don't know if in this specific format it is, but it's a really good card. That being said, it is like stopping abilities, which is the same thing Tinglu does. So it's like a little different. If your opponent's running like Charizard EX, though, this is really good. And then like Tinglu EX isn't doing anything. So I think this card you should definitely be playing, and I really like that you have it in the Tinglu deck because I've seen people not playing this card like in decks where it's essential. It's like so good, because you can power it up and you can kind of power it up. You can power it up about as easily as Tinglu, and it's really good. It can auto win certain games. And then we also see the single prize Tinglu. To be honest, I'm not as sure about this card. It is 220 for 3, but I guess it's a single prize attacker, and it can accelerate energies as well. It's not a card I've played with like at all. But I know a lot of people like it in Tinglu. And then the Mew EX is kind of interesting. I don't know exactly use cases of this card. I think it's like solid as like an engine, but the Dex engine's like kind of really sketchy. We see three research, three judge, two Arvin, and then of course Squawkability EX, Mew EX. I feel like you're gonna like if you're putting Ionos you late game, that's a little scary. Mew EX won't draw you out of that super well, so I would like to see probably a fourth research or another Iono or some or like an Iono or something like that. Iono's not great late game, but or another judge or something, but yeah, and then Maximum Belt, I guess, fixes math. I'm not really familiar with Maximum Belt in the deck, but I know that like the math's really interesting with the deck as well. And so that as your ace spec is nice. I feel like Unfair Stamp could be a good ace spec though. You do run Arvin to search it out sometimes, and then it's just really good and really like powerful. It helps out you. It's a good draw card, and then it really disrupts your opponent. I feel like that could be a good ace spec. And then the Team Devolution. I always love this card. This card's like super good against certain decks. Admittedly, the decks that it's good against are like Charizard, Dragapult. I guess this is good against Dragapult. But then it's also useful against like Chimpao as well, which you counter. And Charizard you counter with the Ogerpon, and then the Tinglu counters the Chimpao or the Baxcalibur. Um, yeah, so really really good deck though. Tinglu EX is it's not an insanely good deck right now because I mentioned like Charizard DX, and you're not super good against that. You do have the Ogre Pond, which is really good, but they might be able to get around that or do stuff, which could cause issues. And then also, um, wait, these only in the active? No. So if your opponent, oh, I need to stop pressing back. So if your opponent's running a snipe based deck, if they're running Greninja E, well, no, that doesn't have an ability. Anyway, if you have Tinglu and then you're like turn off, I say they have Radiant Greninja, Tinglu EX will turn off their ability, then they can snipe the Ogre Pond, which is like kind of weird, but that's pretty niche. So, yeah, oh, I do like the three boss though. Three boss is nice. And then Pokegears, I'm to be honest, I'm not a big fan of this card. It's not a bad card, but I just don't really like it that much. But yeah, I feel like I would change out the ace spec because consistency issues do seem like they could happen. Where like especially if you need to boss late game, you can't boss and draw cards, so that might be a little bit of an issue at times. Um, and then also like you do need to be able to get your heavy baton, so you need to Arvin and draw and do that stuff. Also, the deck will always struggle if your opponent like lost vacuums or heavy baton or jamming towers it now as well. So that's something you need to be careful of. And then if you do hit them with an unfair stamp, that'll make it harder for them to do that as well. Next up, we have this deck by Grim Thoughts, which is a Gholdengo EX deck, but it's a bit of a different Gholdengo EX deck because it plays Chiyu. It also runs Monkey Dory and it runs Candela. The first thing about this list, it doesn't really run like any supporters. Oh, that's not true. It doesn't run many draw supporters. Or like regular draw supporters, which really sketches me out. Gholdengo lists honestly don't usually run a lot of draw supporters. Like let's just take a look at this random list. This runs Revavroom, but it runs no traditional draw supporters at all. It runs Irida. So I don't like the Palkia like Gholdengo. It's a weird deck, and I played it a little, and it like feels weird. But I know some people like it. So Irida searches for stuff, but it searches for an item, and then searches for a water Pokemon, but the water Pokemon is not that powerful. So in the deck, I mean it's okay, but it's not like some great thing late game. And then the item's like okay, but it's not that good either. And the Cypher Maniac's code breaking is really good once you're set up. Even if you just have Radiant Greninja in play, it's still really good. But it's not, but it's solid. But then this list runs Candela, which is draw two on a coin flip, accelerate a fire energy from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon. Sorry, from your disco pile to one of your bench Pokemon. And Rhyme, which is draw three and then switch out your opponent's active to the bench, which is nice. I don't think Rhyme's a terrible card. I honestly don't think draw three, no, draw three and Gholdengo, I guess, are good. As you like to get big hands. And then we see three Silene. Three Silene is high. Silene is a good card, and I am aware of that though. And in some ways, it actually functions like Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking, which puts two cards from your deck on top. But this is on average one card from your discard pile on top. But of course, it is luck based, right? You flip two coins, and it does one for each heads. So that can be a bit of an issue. The Gusting's in a very scary situation. I know Gholdengo does struggle to gust because it is like a Pokestop deck kind of. So that's kind of like, you know, always going to be an issue, but I feel like a counter catcher could be slotted into this deck somewhere. And then, and again, I don't play Gholdengo really that much at all. I said I don't really play Gholdengo Palkia, and that's probably the main way right now. But yeah, I mean, I think the deck's interesting, but I feel like you definitely need more draw supporters in like the early game because Candela is just draw 2, and it is here for the Chi, which is a really interesting inclusion. Mega Fire of Envy, 50, but if one of your Pokemon was knocked out last turn, you do 140. And 140 is a really solid damage output, but I feel like Scissor would be better. I mean, they're so different, Scissor and Chi-Yu. Scissor is realistically though more damage, more HP, less energy, which means it just, but it is like a stage 1. So I feel like Candela and Grim Thoughts also did like post or did like write some stuff about this deck. I'm not reading it in today's video, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. You can find it on the Discord server down below and read it for yourself. But they said that Candela, like you do it in your essentially free turns, which you will have free turns once you're set up. You don't really need to support her. At that point, you really need to support her to set up sometimes, but you can do that with just Buddy Buddy Poffins and like nest balls and ultra balls. So that's what you're kind of relying on. But then you Candela and then flip coin, hopefully accelerate energy to Chiyu once during the game, and then you get that Chiyu attack, which is really nice because you get that once per game single prizer attacker, which is kind of the idea. But I don't know. And then the Monkey Dory also seems kind of sketchy because I feel like you're gonna if they're not one shotting you, I guess it's really good. But a lot of decks do one shot you. You mentioned Dragapult, which is fine, I guess, but I know that seems kind of. I feel like you just want to focus on Gholdengo then, and you could even play some like healing card to fix the math because they will two shot two Gholdengos, so they will essentially one shot Gholdengo, but and that's not really what's happening, but it's kind of what's happening, and Monkey Dory does prevent that, but it is a Pokemon and requires your energy commitment, so it is good there, but it's a little weird and it hurts consistency in other areas. So yeah, overall, I don't know. It's really interesting. It's a deck I'd probably have to try. It looks inconsistent though, um, but it's an interesting like it makes the cards as well. Um, I feel like Candela isn't good, and that's just what I'm gonna say. Because like sure, the energy acceleration is good, but it's a coin flip. So you are relying on luck, and that luck will certainly hurt you at times. It can win you games as well, but I don't know. I know it's an interesting list though. Next up, we have moving on to our like more silly decks. This is a Baby Box by Mr. Quacky, and this deck is weird. And so it's not that good. I'm just gonna say I don't think it's that good, but it's better than the other deck though. The other like fun deck, that other deck is terrible. I'm gonna be completely honest. But you'll see, and you will agree when you see the deck because it doesn't like do anything. But this deck here does do something, and it's focused around the babies and a bunch of like weird Pokemon. Um, so Cleffa, dropped to 7. There are actually 2 Cleffas in standard, I imagine. Many of you didn't know that, but this is the drop to 7 one. We have Tatsugiri here as a supporting like engine as well. With Beach Court, I feel like and one switch card. I feel like oh yeah, we have 2 Kieran as well to switch, but I think a rescue board would be good on Tatsugiri. Maybe not. I mean, rescue board is kind of useless on like most on a good chunkier Pokemon. It's useless on I mean all the babies, right? They all have free retreat. But then we have Magby and Elekid. Elekid's 30 snipe to anything for free. Magby is I think if it's I don't remember what this one is. Is it? Oh, so during your opponent's next turn, if this Pokemon is damaged, put 6 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. This is an interesting attack. But I don't know. Is it good? I feel like it's not. I feel like it's worse than Elekid most of the time. I feel like they're just gonna like guess around it. Maybe not. Magby is an interesting Pokemon though. Much less controlled than Elekid, but I think Elekid's really good. The Minun and Plusle as well are interesting. Minun says that if your opponent attached an energy to when their Pokemon, well, Plusle's in play, I believe, then they put 2 damage counters on it. And Plusle does 10 and 10 more for each damage counter on your opponent's active, so that can like build. You have double turbo as well, so assuming they have a little bit of damage on them, that's good. And then Alone Rattata. Oh, also this one also you can look at Mr. Quacky's like stuff that they wrote down in the Discord server where they wrote a bunch of stuff about the matchups. The one thing was Alone Rattata though is 50 on a coin flip for 2 colorless. That seems bad. I mean 50 for 2 colorless is good, but it's on a coin flip. So there's a 50% chance that it just doesn't do anything. That risk doesn't seem worth it, like, at all. I feel like Elekid would just be better. It can does hit weakness. It does some different things, but I feel like it's not very good. Yeah, I feel like there has to be something better than that to fulfill this role. Like it's just not good. It's like silly, and I know that, but it feels so terrible to use. And then this Brigatito EX, this is one of the, in my opinion, the weirdest EX because why does it have an EX? That's just the thing. How do I spell this? Oh, Sprigatito. So Sprigatito EX, it does 20 for 1 and 100 for 3, and then heals itself 30, but its HP is 200, which isn't even that low. Like, I feel like it should have a much lower HP, because Squawkabilly has 160. Squawkabilly EX is 160, but like single price Squawkabillies have like in the low 100s, but you know, Sprigatitos have much lower HP than that, right? They're basic single prizes that evolve into a stage 2, so really low HP there. So I feel like Sprigatito EX should have like 120 or something. But anyways, this is fine. So it's an interesting option. And then you have super effective glasses. This will help like with math, especially on Sprigatito EX. Although that's not really one-shotting Charizard EX. You can Elekid snipe it first, assuming it. Well, it needs to be in the active because you can't Elekid snipe. You can't snipe Pokemon, Terra EXs because they have the Terra thing. That's like an ancient trait, but it's not really an ancient trait. We also see Minior with super effective glasses, or against Snorlax is good, but with super effective glasses, you get to one shot a an Iron Hands EX. We also have Pawniard. Pawniard's really weird in this deck. So Pawniard does, where is it? Because this is a card I didn't really. I mean, I've played, I guess, but it does 30 for 1 metal and 10 to itself. Um, Oh, also Alone Rattata. I had no idea what that card did because I know like most cards. I mean, I don't know if I know most cards, but I know most cards that like people would realistically ever play. I didn't had no idea what that Alone Rattata was. Like I don't like have like the Pawniard memorized off the top of my head, but I've certainly played with it and like know it exists. But like I had no idea about this Alone Rattata. But this Pawniard, it does 30 for 1 metal, which I know is like it's all right 30 for 1, but I feel like there's got to be something better. I'm just gonna check real quick. Basic attack. I don't know how to use the attack cost sorting thing. Um, so I'm not going to use that. But then I want it in standard and for it's just a metal type. So I don't know. That seems a little sketchy to me. Let's sort these. And then I want something that's for one colors. It does like a little, like 30 ideally. I don't know if there's anything like that, but I assume there would be. Maybe there's just not. I assume the person who made this looked, but I guess there's not. Um, this Meltan. Oh no, actually two colors because then you can't do double turbo. So maybe the Pawniard is the best play. But it seems kind of sketchy. And then you only have one energy. You have one luminous energy. So I feel like you're never gonna ever like pull that off. Oh yeah, and the list does run 4 Arvins. This is not my list. The person only submitted like an image of the list, or it's not my image either. It's someone else's image. So the cards aren't sorted, which is weird. Like they're just, what order is this? I don't know what's going on here with like the order of the cards, but because Arvin should normally be here, I think, because I think it's in by count. So anyway, um, so maybe there isn't anything better than Pawniard, but I feel like there should be. You know, you never know, I guess. I guess there's not, but like this Skarmory seems better. Sure, it's less damage, which is a big deal, but 20 for 1. But then you have 120 HP instead of 60, and then you have resistance to fighting, which is like resistances are actually kind of clutch in certain scenarios. Certainly, it's not great here, especially with like Greninja EX being the main one. But Greninja EX does do 120 with its second attack, and so you'll resist that, assuming you're in the active, which is pretty solid to be honest. And then there's Zacian, right, which is 34 in metal. This guy's actually pretty decent. And accelerates in metal to one of your benched Pokemon. I haven't actually played this card, but I think in like GLC people play. I don't know, but anyway, so I feel like Pawniard is like kind of not good. I just play Skarmory here, but anyway, I think Gardenia's Vigor like isn't good. I mean, it's not terrible. It's a card that's seeing play right now, but it's not good when you can't use it, right? And you only run 4 grass energies and 2 earthen vessels and 2 Gardenia's Vigor. So I feel like it's gonna be kind of hard to use this card, but kind of funny still. And then maximum belt, like I don't know. I mean, Maxwell Belt certainly has value. It's a very good card in the deck, but like I feel like there's some consistency issues with the deck. I feel like Secret Vast or Unfair Stand might be a little bit better. But anyway, really fun deck as well. Team Devolution, like this can definitely catch your opponent off guard with like literally everything. And you could definitely find some wins with this deck. So really fun concepts here. Oh, Kieran as well with super effective glasses, boosting your damage, and then you like triple it is pretty cool. Lastly, we have a deck. This deck's so trash because it doesn't have any attackers. But yeah, so if you look at this deck, it's all support Pokemon. Like actually all support Pokemon. We have Lumineon V, Tapu Lele GX, Crobat V, Dedenne GX, Squawkabilly EX, and Eldegoss V. These Pokemon they're all support Pokemon. They're all kind of similar. It doesn't really matter what they do. They draw you cards, and they're really good at what they do. And there's the Armins and Gladions, and then Secret Box, and 4 copies of Freshwater Set. That's right, this is a deck that's used to play Freshwater Set. That's its thing. And 4 copies of Gapejaw Bog. Whenever either player puts a basic Pokemon from their hand onto the bench, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. Then you heal it off with Freshwater Set. This means you can pretty much always play it. However, I don't know if you're going to be able to play multiple Freshwater Sets with this deck because I mean, you can, but you play a Pokemon and then you heal it up. But if you play all your Pokemon, your bench is full, then you freshwater set, or you can't find a way to play another Pokemon, you can't freshwater set again. So this is a daily challenge to play freshwater set. And so this is used to do that. I feel like though, I don't know if I'd play Rainbow Energy in this deck. I feel like playing Rainbow Energy, you attach it. Just play like a few copies, and then you like 2, and then you attach it. You damage yourself 10, and that's kind of like something you can do, which is just nice to get damage in play, which I think would be good. You could like move damage around because freshwater set heals. Wait, it's 20 from 20 from each of your Pokemon. Oh, I forgot that it was gonna do that. But anyway, this is a deck, I guess. I mean, it's not, you're never gonna win any games because you literally do nothing to your opponent. Like, well, I guess you Gape Shot block them. So if they're like, I don't know, you're not gonna get any knockouts with this. But oh, it runs 4 caps of Delivery Drone, which is double coin flip. If both are heads, you search your deck for any card, put it into your hand. I have not played this card, I don't think, but it's a card. Actually, I think I have played this card. But yeah, this is a deck. I don't really know what to say about this deck. It's weird. It's a thing though. But anyways, oh, and this deck was also by Laser as well. I didn't say that. But I hope you enjoyed. Consider liking, subscribing, and of course joining the Discord server so you can look at these decks and submit your own decks. Also, you can submit your own custom cards in that as well. I'd really love to see that. But I hope you enjoyed, and as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.